And welcome, ladies and gents, to the Mixer. It's your boy Black, also known as SSSS Black, also known as Errors of Scarlett and Nico Robbins, purse holder, also known as the wholesome anti-hero, and also known as Aphrodite's titty holder. We are back for another episode of the Mixer, and on the ones and twos with me, my running mate ScubaSteve is also with us. ScubaSteve, tell everybody how you doing.
Hey man, what's up, man? It's been a week, I'll say that. I've been really busy this week, but you know what I'm saying? I definitely am excited to be here, man. I've been getting into some anime, and now that I found out a little sneaky way to pull in some anime at work, it's about to get there.
Hey, you gotta get that anime fixed in at work real quick. You gotta make sure.
Yeah, so now that I figured that out, I was like, oh, I can do this? Okay, cool, bet. So I'm ready to get it in now. So
sounds like a plan. That's what's up. All right. So then with that, before we get started, and you already know how it goes, every episode that we do of the Mixer is always in remembrance of the boy Stentnator, the co-founder of the Mayonaka Mixer. Stent, we do it for you. We holding it down. You know how we do it, dog. Hey, I miss you, though, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking about you the other day. I missed you, little bro, for real, though. And with that, we off. ScubaSteve, how you week been, dog? Let's talk for a second. Let's talk before we jump all into the anime, dog. Let's talk. It's okay. We can talk about this. Hey, no issue here. So,
okay. So this week, I been working really heavy on my webtoon that I've been trying.
Steve ain't got a job. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, y'all.
Yeah, I just got
one. That's an inside joke, y'all. That's an inside joke. If y'all want to know what that joke is about, then just hop on Twitter and we'll let you know.
Sure as hell didn't want one. but pretty much I've been working really heavy on this little webtoon that I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. So me and Sally, we've been working behind the scenes and like really like diving into it now. So that's really been taking up a lot of my time. But then, you know what I'm saying, I'm working at the overnight shift, and the overnight shift is working with freight and stuff like that. It's kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's really peaceful because I get to listen to a lot of podcasts and things like that. But now I've seen a couple people propping their phone up against stuff and watching it from a distance. I was like, oh, we can do that? And it was like, yeah, man. And I was like, oh, okay, bet. So now
light bulb went off. The plot thinking like, oh man, I might have a way.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna have to start doing that. So we really about to get into it. Been reading a lot of comics, a lot of webtoons. We did a lot of interviews this past weekend. We did 4 interviews this weekend.
Yeah, y'all were cranking them out. Y'all was busy, though, for real.
Yeah, so we're way ahead on the It Mob scene. You know what I'm saying? On the It Mob scene, we got like 6 episodes in the tuck now. So
yeah, we got fresh content dropping on y'all. So be ready for It Mob. They gonna hit y'all with the ones and twos for sure.
Big facts. And yeah, man. Like as far as watches and stuff like that, I watched The Flash. I was reading I read this really good webtoon. It's pretty wholesome. It's Pokemon called Lil Char in the Game. And it's pretty much like a parody of Pokemon in a sense like that. It's the 3 starter Pokemon, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, and it's like their adventures pretty much in life. It's like a slice of life, but it's a comedy.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. And you can run through it really fast. I ran through like 60 chapters in like 2 hours. Because it's a webtoon and it's like, 7-8 pages and then it's over. Right. So it was a really good wholesome read pretty much. And then what else did I read? Oh, I've been reading reread of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Shout out to Merc, the mayor. We made a deal. He did a read for Hunter x Hunter. And then I was like, all right, well, then I'll do a reread for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'm on like chapter 23. So right now we're still in the early stages, but it's right around the time where it's about to get into the Shao Tucker mix. So we're about to get into that.
Manga or anime, that scene is pretty rough still.
Yeah, and it's diving in a little deeper in the manga where it was like because like I didn't know that they stayed with them for so long, stayed with Shao Tucker for so long and stuff like that. So that whole Brother Ed scene is gonna hit a lot harder in the manga. I can already tell because it's like, dang, they actually in the anime it was like they interacted a little bit, they left, they came
right. It's like literally one episode, whereas it sounds like in the manga it's like like a chapter, like 2 or 3 chapters, because they actually stayed for a little bit longer.
They stayed, they played with her, they get a lot.
All right. Don't trigger me, dog. I can feel it hitting me. I'm like, let's do that. Yeah, I got you.
It's a little deeper. But how was your week, man?
I can't complain, man. I'm work. It's football season, so you already know my Raiders. As of this episode, is 3-0. We getting ready for a big Monday night clash down at SoFi Stadium in LA to go play the Chargers, one of our division rivals. But yeah, man, we 3-0. DC 4, Derek Carr, number 4, slinging that rock. And man, our defense, dog, is coming along nice. So I'm happy, dog, for real. We got actually a defense, a D coordinator that's allowing the defense to actually make plays for us, so DC doesn't have to score every single drive. So, man, football season is doing me justice, man. I'm happy. I'm back in it. And so, yeah, man, like football always takes my mind off of anime for a minute, and I never have those burnouts because football season always saves the day. And then basketball season is right around the corner, man. Fall's always a good time for sports and anime because normally you're always throwing in all the good anime, all the fall, and then you got sports. I'll be like, man, I'll be in my zone for real. So I can't complain. I've been good.
Your football life is doing a lot better than my football life. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I can't complain. I won't get too ahead of myself, but I am proud of the boys for real. It makes me happy, dog. So, speaking of reading, I read this cool ass isekai, right? It's I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's a young man who's isekai to another world. And actually it was 4 of them isekai, but it was 2 guys and 2 girls. And the guy and the 2 girls, they knew each other, but this guy was just by himself, like just in the area, and he got isekai too. So the young man that was with the 2 girls ended up being the hero, quote unquote. You know how the isekai go. When you bring somebody over, it's the hero to save the day, blah, blah, blah. The guy that was with the 2 young ladies ended up being the hero. So he gets pulled aside and basically starts to do his hero stuff. But the twist on this isekai is instead of bringing in the hero to save the day, this world is absolutely peaceful. So there's no demon lord that needs to be slain. There's no villain that needs to be fought. They're actually reincarnate. They summon these people from a different world. They isekai these people to basically be like actors. Every like 100 years they have a like acting gig where they summon, quote unquote, the hero over, and he basically just plays the part of the hero. But they've had peace for like 500 years or something crazy. So
that's interesting.
Right. So you think that when you're isekai over, it's to save the world, but in reality, the world is peaceful. And that's like literally the title of it. Like the title is something along the lines of I was isekai, but the world is already at peace or something like that. And so it's cool because this one guy that's isekai who didn't even know these other people ends up basically just like wandering around the world, and he meets this little girl, or this girl per se. And so this girl basically like ends up basically befriending him, and he ends up basically like hanging out with her and her friends and stuff like that. And again, they have demons in the world, but they're not evil demons. They're not mean. You know what I mean? Like everybody's been at peace for a while. So they're all good-natured people. Basically, fast forwarding through this, what you end up finding out is that this little girl is actually the demon lord. And he ends up befriending her the whole time, right? And so again, since everything's at peace, nobody has a clue that this is the demon lord. But then when they find out that she's, who she is, the demon lord, it absolutely obliterates everything, because there's like, wait, you're friends with the demon lord? Like, these are one of the 7 most powerful people in this world. And because he ends up befriending the demon lord in some way, shape, or form, somehow, some way, this guy ends up befriending 5 of the 7 most powerful people in the world. The kicker becomes, because he befriended these people, he ends up befriending somehow, some way, the goddess that created the entire world, as in overseeing everything. He has like this like luck gene where he like somehow, some way, just because he's just kind and natured and really chill, people migrate to him. So it's one of the more chiller isekais that I read, because again, there's no fighting, there's no battling, it's just literally a slice of life, how this guy just happens to befriend the right people at the right time, and everything just happens to go his way. And he's not even like it's such a cool chill. I read it so quickly. It was so chill. I was like, oh my goodness. Like I'll have to try to remember the name later and drop it into another podcast. But man, it was a good read. It was like 40 or 50 chapters. I just read through it at night. I was like, man, this is cool. I love Isekai. If you guys haven't noticed, Black loves Isekai. And reading that was absolutely enjoyable. I enjoyed every second of it. Like and it almost became like a comedy. Like he's meeting all these influential people, and the people that he's like around and standing, right? He ends up like befriending the princess of the capital or whatever. And then he befriends all these world people, and she's just like, how are you knowing all these people? Like, these are people that I would never even speak to in my life. I'm terrified of because they're such powerful people. And he's just casually having tea or eating crumpets, and you're just like, it's comedy. At certain parts, it gets so funny. Like it's not meant to be a comedy, but it's still funny, and it's literally really peaceful read. I enjoyed it, but yes, that's something that I read. I don't know what else I've read, but yeah, no, I just wanted to. You said reading, and it literally popped in my head, so I wanted to mention that. But
hey, man, it's always time for the reads, man. Because like before, I would say this time last year, I wasn't reading much of anything other than One Piece, and now I got like 10, 15 things that I'm trying to read at once, and then like, I came huge into reading. So
I probably got like 100 ongoing manga that I read when they update. I know that's an absolutely absurd amount to be reading all at once and to remember what's going on each time. But I mean, when I read something, I read it to current. And then now it's like, okay, well, when is it going to update? And so when these manga sites update, I go and read, you know what I mean? And so it's like literally I could wait a week. And then by the time I come back, I got like 60 chapters to catch up on. So it's like, man, that could be overwhelming. But when I get to it, I get to it, you know. But it always keeps me with something to read, which is cool. So yeah. All right. So we got a little something special that we're going to be doing for you guys. Actually, you guys get two treats this episode. The first treat we're going to be doing is going to be a new thing that we'll start doing at the end of each anime season, and that's called the Blacklist. And that's basically going to be me, Black, going through the list, and not all of them, but a list of anime that I've watched throughout the season, and yeah, just giving small little hits and points on them and stuff like that, and giving it a small review. The scale will be from 1 to 10, obviously 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. And I'll just give you like, you know, how I felt about it when I watched it, and you know, my pros and cons of it, and maybe that helps you also decide, maybe I'll go check that out too. So all right, and so with no further ado, let's go ahead and start the Blacklist. Dun, dun, dun. So starting on Sunday, and again, this list is just I start from the order that I watch, but again, not every anime that I've watched is on this list. These are just ones that popped up to mind that I just wanted to bring up because I felt that either they should be checked out or maybe they should be left to your own discretion if you want to watch. So the first one is going to be The Duke of Death and His Maid. It's a pretty chill, laid-back comedy. Young man is basically cursed. He can't touch anybody or anything or it dies. So literally he's cursed. So he lives in a mansion by himself away from his family, and the only two people he has around him is his butler and his maid, Alice. And so because of this, obviously he lives by himself. And for the longest time when he had caught his curse, he basically, became a shut-in. He isolated himself. He hated everything. And so what you find out while watching this season of anime is that the maid Alice actually has been around him prior to him even getting cursed. He gets cursed when he's maybe 8. And so he ends up basically getting cursed. He moves away from Alice, doesn't see her again. And then she comes back 7 years later and decides to be his maid. And so basically Alice is the one that pulls him out of that dark hole, and he falls in love with his maid, Alice. And so the entire anime is about how cute they are together, how Alice clearly loves Bochan, which is his nickname in the anime, and also the nickname of the anime, Bochan. And how he loves her and she loves him. Yet it's difficult because he can't touch it. And it's funny because she flirts with him so much. She flirts and she has really big boobs and she's always showing off her boobs, trying to get him to touch, knowing that he can't touch. So it's the funniest thing of like not really cat and mouse, but it's just really, really cute. Really wholesome. The plot thickens towards the end of the season, so you end up basically getting a little bit more information, and it basically stays as a wholesome anime for the most part. The animation style is different, but I personally had no issues with it. I wasn't like anything like, oh my god, the animation style. No, it's perfectly okay. It was just a different style from it. I believe it was JC Staff that might have did it. I don't quote me on that. I do not remember the animation style. But overall, I enjoyed the Duke of Death. It was for sure an enjoyable watch every Sunday. I personally rate it probably about like a 7.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a pretty good rating, honestly, for just literally a chill comedy, like rom-com, I guess you'd consider it. So it's for sure watchable. It's one of those ones that if you binge it 12 episodes, you'll enjoy it. You'll get your laughs in. Alice is honestly she's lovely. Like everything about her demeanor, her smile, her cuteness, and of course the big boobs. Like everything about her, though, is pretty awesome. And just watching her tease Bo-chan is absolutely hilarious every episode. So I rated a 7 out of 10 for my choice. The one I got, Detective is Already Dead. I'm mixed about it. I enjoyed it, but then after hearing reviews about it and stuff like that, there was a lot of stuff that was cut out. The first episode, within the first hour, because it was our episode, showed us gorgeous fluid animation. I mean, like, man, it made me go like completely bonkers. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be it. But the animation did drop off later on, which made me a little bit sad while watching it. The story at points would be nice, but then you can feel that things were being rushed through compared to the source material. It didn't stop me from watching it. I was always interested, but my biggest gripe with it was, spoiler alert, again, if you haven't seen it, close your ears right now for about 2 minutes. Just fast forward 2 minutes. Spoiler alert, obviously the name of the anime is Detective's Already Dead. The letdown was when the detective actually dies. And so it didn't give me that, oh man, like it didn't make me sad. It didn't make me like, damn, what happens now? Even when she is, killed, nothing about it just stirred me. And I was just like, maybe it was the delivery that threw it off. Because when the main character like that dies, you would think there'd be a little bit more emotion to it. But even her sidekick, which is sort of like the main character as well, he had emotions, but it wasn't even on that level. Like I just felt that the delivery of that death was done incorrectly, and the rest of the anime from there on in was just like meh. Like obviously, you name an anime, the detective's already dead. The one thing that you want to know is, why is the detective dead?
The detective's dead.
Don't basically do that. It's like, or when you're lackluster on why she died and how she died, it just sort of just turns it off completely. I would recommend people read the light novel because I've heard rave reviews about the light novel itself. So before watching it, maybe read the light novel and do a little bit of research. Anime wise, I'm leaning more towards probably more like a 6. There were issues, like I said, and the whole thing about the detective dying sort of turned me off. It did not stop me from watching it though. So I rated a 6 because of all the extra stuff, but nonetheless, it didn't stop me from watching it. I did watch it every Sunday, but you could just feel it was missing something. So yeah.
I know Rob J was one of my listeners. Shout out to Rob J. He was telling me that I should check it out.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't like, you can tell like when you start watching it, you can sense something's a little bit off, but it didn't it didn't turn me off from watching it. And again, I watch a lot of anime, but if something is bad, I'll drop it. Like it's rare. Like it has to be horrific for me to drop it. But if it's really bad, I'll drop it. But not for the most part, like I said, the interesting, the detective figuring out stuff, sidekick, and all the stuff that he ends up going through, and the ping pong back and forth between before the detective died and after the detective dead, that kept you into it. I just felt that the detective dying part was really lackluster. It really didn't give you, oh man, she's really gone. So my rating on it is about like a 6.5. I mean, again, it's not saying it's horrible. I'm not throwing it in the dirt, but I'm just saying that it could have been done better. So, Monday watches, I watched Battle Game in 5 Seconds. Battle Game in 5 Seconds is another one that I was just like, Of course, the main gripe literally is the CGI, and they had moments where literally one of the main characters was in CGI and the other characters were in anime form.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was not the best of looks personally. the prince, the principle of it, referring to what it is. Obviously, it's a survival game anime. I love survival game anime. The main character seems pretty interesting, but I felt that towards the end, it was becoming a little bit repetitive. The CGI sort of did throw you in a funk, like, ugh. And it was like, ugh. Like, you watched it, but you made it so far, you're like, okay, I'll finish it. You know what I mean? It was like, I'll just go ahead and finish it off because, I'm curious to find out at least what the story goes. But it did open up the potential for a season 2. Who knows? Will they bring back the crappy CGI? I don't know. But it makes it interesting. I'll probably give Battle Game in 5 seconds probably like a 5, honestly. And I was looking forward to it. It started off really good. The first 3 episodes had me hooked. When that CGI hit, it almost just seemed like their budget was for the first 3-4 episodes, and everything after that, the budget just went completely out of whack. And I'm like, damn. Because those first 3 episodes have you hooked. No CGI. Gorgeous animation, like literally from the jump, the animation was perfect, and then that CGI threw it off a cliff, dog. So I'm probably rating it a 5. The only good thing about it, I will mention later on in the podcast. Spirit Chronicles is another one, another isekai. That one gave me hope. Now that one was, you could tell that it was pushing through to get to a certain point of the anime. It felt rushed, but not enough to make me go, "What the hell?" So it was enough to keep me watching, enough to keep me interested, but not enough that made me just be like, nah, dog, I can't do it. Animation was also beautiful in that as well. Main character was pretty cool. I enjoyed him. Rio, he was pretty cool. And the way that they wrapped up the season, again, even though it felt a little bit sped, it wasn't enough that I was bad. And that one also left the door open for a season 2. And if I'm not mistaken, the source material has enough material that it can actually go up to 5 seasons. So that gives me hope that we might get a second season of Spirit Chronicles. And again, me being an isekai guy, I would love to see that. So rating wise, I lean more towards a 6.5. Yeah, 6.5, 7. Not too many issues. It was enjoyable for me. But again, I'm not being biased when I give my ratings. I'm trying to be truthfully honest to it. For the most part, the animation did not flux. It was actually pretty good, and I didn't have no true issues with it. The story I enjoyed. Rio as a character is pretty awesome, and I think probably the only reason I give it a 6.5. You know what? 7. Honestly, I'll give it a 7. And I think the reason is because the future potential. It seems like it's going to get so much better soon. Like next season will probably be that one season where like, oh, we're bumping this up to an 8, 8.5. So it's like, all right. So I'm giving it that 7 based on its potential, and it didn't do anything horrific wrong, but it didn't do anything super, super accelerated good. But again, first season, not bad. So I'll give it about a 7. Tuesdays, Slime Season 2. You already know how I felt about it. Slime Season 2 was basically the back end of Season 2. We get the fight with Clayman. You get Rimuru showing off his powers as a demon lord. You get the Walpurg, which is the I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's like Walpurg or Purg, which is basically the meeting of all the demon lords, and everything's revealed at the end of it. Obviously, it was all a ploy to get Clayman, basically, to find out that Clayman was lying. And so the ending of it, the new, I think it's called the Octagon, the new 8 demon lords with Rimuru being in it, was dope. Everybody got power-ups like crazy. Rimuru has barely used his strength. Slime is one of those animes that if you haven't watched it, you must go check it out. And so season 2 for sure, the back end of season 2, that's rated high for me. That's an 8, 8.5, like easy. Honestly, probably more like a 9 if I'm being truthfully honest. It was extremely enjoyable. Like
I really enjoyed it. I thought season 1 was better, but
really?
But the hype moments were hyper than everything in season 1. So the hype moments for season 2 were better. The height of it was better than season. But the overall season, I enjoyed season 1 a little better than season.
But that lets you know that clearly that if you got 2 seasons as being chosen as better than one or the other, you're not hearing anything bad about the season. You're just saying, I'm choosing that season. And
it's nothing.
Slime season 2. Slime is goated, dog. For real. Slime is really, really, really good. Rimuru is part of my top 5 protagonists. Like easy. Easy,
Oh, okay.
easy. Like no hesitation. Like he's top 5 for sure. So it's like, yeah, I enjoy slime. I mean, I got slime hoodies, slime figurines, but again, it's not a bad anime. It's good. So it's not really my personal bias on this. It's actually a good anime. So like I said, I'm rated about an 8.5. Like I'm perfectly fine with that high rating because it was really good. That season 2 was everything that we wanted in the first half of season 2, but we got it all in the second half. So slime for sure. Let's see. Wednesday, we shoot to Wednesday. Wednesday was the best day for anime for me because they had 2 of my favorite anime that came out. One, of course, being Dragon Maid. We already know Kobayashi's Dragon Maid or Maid Dragon. I'm pretty sure I always get them backwards, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. Oh man, what can I say about this anime, dog? Absolutely beautiful animation from Koei Animations. I'm telling you, man, when they do animation, they do animation. And what makes it crazy, Koei Animation doesn't do action scenes. But boy, when they put their foot into an action scene, I'm pretty sure the fight between is it Elsa and Toru, that animation fight had everybody on Twitter going crazy. I mean, absolutely bonkers because it was Koei Animation showing that, yeah, we might be a slice of life studio, layback studio, but we can do some fight scenes. And it was gorgeous. I mean, you would have been like, whoa, this is like some like top tier stuff, like some unfoldable top tier. Like it was that good. And it was just literally a scene for like 3 minutes. And literally they were just arguing, but it was that good. So Dragon Maid for sure. Yeah, Dragon Maid. I mean, again, you go there for the comedy, you go there for the love. I mean, hell, I go there for Luca alone. I go there for Luca, just keeping it on it. And they literally were able to, each dragon got their time to shine. Whether it was Fafnir talking to its roommate about how he feels about humans, whether it was Toru, and we finally find out the backstory of Toru and why she ended up coming to the human world. Luca and how she feels about other people and why Luca doesn't stay in certain places, but how she feels about the little boy that she watches over. Kana goes to New York and has her whole side story. Like she flies to New York and fights bad guys. It's crazy. Like the new dragon, Ilu, her cute self, like she gets along with little kids and how she's teasing the little boy that she works at the candy shop. Like Dragon Maid, man, I truly can't get enough of it. Like they can come out with whatever Dragon Maid content they want. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to absorb it. I'm going to watch it again. Like it's such a good anime. So I'm easily giving that like 8.59. Like easy. One of the better animes for sure this year, guaranteed. So
okay.
Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy, for sure the best isekai of summer. Main character, just watching him progress and get stronger and stronger each episode was absolutely wild. And that last episode 12 or 13, we got to see him fight and use like majority of his power, like use his abilities. And dog, when I say like he can destroy some shit, like he is absolutely OP. And I just think that's hella cool. He's extremely OP, and he like literally like, oh, just like, oh, okay, you guys want to fight me? You sure about this? And then when he got serious, all hell broke loose, and he literally created a crater where he was fighting. Like he created a crater and just killed friend or foe. It didn't even matter. Like literally, he was just like, I don't care about any of y'all, and just blew it all up. I was like, okay, this man is a beast. But, yeah, for real though. And I think what makes Tsukimichi so cool is that not only you got the main character who's pretty cool, but his two, I guess, running mates, I guess we'll call them. Honestly, hell, you might as well just call them his lovers in a sense. Mio and Tomei are literally as equally as fun to watch. Mio being so obsessed with Mikoto, which is the main character's name, and Tomei being just her crazy, just I do my own thing type being. The trio of Mikoto, Tomei, and Mio was absolutely gold for this anime. And again, for it to be an isekai, it was absolutely funny. It had so many hilarious moments. Like my man literally tied them both up to an arrow and with his full strength shot them like literally like 7 continents over. He was so pissed at them for wrecking the town. He literally tied them to an arrow. They're like, wait. What? He literally takes the arrow and shoots with all his power, and they just go flying off screen. And you're just like, bruh, he really just did that, and they couldn't do anything about it because again, he's so strong. he literally overpowers them with ease. So it's just like, man, like he's OP within itself. So Tsukimichi, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I've given Tsukimichi an 8.5, just off of the vibes alone. And it was just, again, Dragon Maid and Tsukimichi was easily the best day for just watching anime. Like Wednesdays, I literally dubbed them Tsukimichi and Dragon Maid Wednesdays because it was just that good watching those. You get literally an hour of goated ass shit on one day. So very enjoyable. On Thursday, I think I get the days wrong. Thursday is Scarlet Nexus, the anime that's basically based on the game Scarlet Nexus. It's going into its second core, so you're basically getting the second part of it now. But the first core was pretty good. Obviously, with anime adaptations from video games have so much that they're trying to put into the game, whereas in the anime, you only get, 20, 24-minute episodes. So there's so much behind it. If you enjoy the game, I do recommend checking out the anime just because it just gives you a little bit more feel. And if you really, really enjoy the game, just watching in the anime form will basically allow you to enjoy it. So, anime was average. Animation was, above average. 7. Yeah. Again, it's anime adaptation, so you're not going to get everything out of it. It's going to not have a lot of stuff in it. But nonetheless, for what it was still enjoyable. And, costumes are cool. Characters are cool. It at least gives you a dip into it if you want to get into the game. So about 7.
Okay.
Fridays had Black Company, the Dungeon of Black Company. This was one of my funnier comedies. It's not my funniest comedy of summer, but it was for sure one of the funnier comedies. My man, sorry, I just start thinking of the MC, and my man is just, bruh. He literally, he's the definition of fake it till you make it, dog. Like he makes his plans work. His team, they ride or dies, and he gets the job done, dog. For real, it's enjoyable watching the Nomiya basically work through everything and have backup plans for his backup plans. Like for real, bro. He literally gets the job done, knowing that he can only do so much. But I think the final episode is what caught me the most because he literally is being basically interrogated and basically like tortured in a sense to give up information. He was just like, I know my strengths and weaknesses, but the one thing that I will not falter on is my will. If my will breaks, it's all over. You can beat my body, you can destroy my body, but if you don't break my will, I still have a shot at this. And for that to be in the final episode, it got to show you what type of character he was at the very end of the season. And I thought that was cool because literally he proved that the whole season, but for them to just say it was really, really cool. I was like, all right, bro. All right, Nanomiya. And again, at the end of the episode, he got out of the situation and became that guy again. So it's like, bro, his will wasn't broken, so he made it through. So Nanomiya and his crew was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that anime. It was hilarious as all hell. I'd probably lean towards like a 7, 7.5. Nothing bad about it. I enjoyed it just thoroughly, just really funny. The other comedy that was not the funniest comedy, but still was a comedy, was Girlfriend. Literally, it was just carnage, dog. Literally, a guy is dating 2 girls at once. He literally has the balls to ask his current girlfriend, can he date the other girl? She somehow decides that, sure, this is okay. And absolute chaos ensues, dog. If you just want a laid-back comedy to just go ahead and watch and laugh your ass off because it's so absurd, that's what Girlfriend is. It's going to give you some laughs. It's going to give you absolute comedy. Saki was the best thing about it. Saki is his first girlfriend. Her facial expressions literally are enough to make your gut hurt from laughing.
Oh, really?
She reacts to shit was just absolutely comedy. And she's just like, I want to give up. I really do. But she's just ignorant enough to just stick with this all. Saki was awesome. She's the best thing for sure about Girlfriend. But again, if you just want something a little bit etchy, a little bit comedy behind it, and just something to just lay back and enjoy, like not being so serious and watching anime, check out Girlfriend. I'll give it just a 7 off of the comedy alone. It was nothing bad with it. No bad animation. It was funny as all hell. And hey, it gets a 7 just for having me laugh every Friday for sure. We call that Saki Fridays because it was funny as all hell. She was so fucking funny. Oh my God. She had me screaming every week. It was absolutely comedy when she was on screen. So,
okay.
I got a couple more that I'm going to drop on y'all heads real quick. Eden Zero, y'all already know where I stand when it comes to Mashimiya's work. And Eden Zero obviously is from him, same creator as Fairy Tail. Yes, I know. But Eden Zero is really a really more darker vibe than Fairy Tail was. Eden Zero starts off dark as hell. And you're just, well, not super, super dark, but it does start off, the vibes are dark. Like people are getting killed, people are dying, and shit gets a little bit real. And Shiki himself is literally dubbed as the Demon Lord. And y'all know me, I'm an anti-hero. So if you're talking about Demon Lord, I'm always around it. I want to hear what's going on with a Demon Lord. But Shiki himself is just like, yeah, bro, like you fuck with my squad, like I'm after it. I don't care who you are, bro. You could be a god. I'm still gonna box. Like, come catch these hands. And so Shiki as a main character is slowly climbing my list of main characters. I love him. He's pretty awesome. And yeah, man, like again, if you enjoy Fairy Tail, you're gonna like Eden Zero probably even more because it's darker. You enjoy the darkness that comes with anime. You don't want it just always to be happy and joy. No, that was one of the biggest gripes from watching Fairy Tail. It didn't feel like there was no stakes. Nah, Eden Zero got stakes, dog. Like people are dying, so you're like, all right, things get a little bit more real.
I actually don't hate Fairy Tail as much as everybody else do. Even though, like, when everybody else is getting on that bandwagon, I'll just be like, oh, this is my chance to like, because like, you know, like I joke around with Skylar a lot. So I'm like, this is my chance to make Skylar be the victim. So I'm like, oh yeah, she like Fairy Tail too. They're like, oh well, she's okay.
Shout out to Mike Check Waifu. We know Polo was getting into it with all the Fairy Tail stands and literally his antagonist space, like literally created the antagonist space because he had to get on the Fairy Tail people's fans. Listen, y'all, I am a Fairy Tail fan, but I'm nowhere near as crazy as the stands are. There's a difference. A Fairy Tail fan probably has common sense. A Fairy Tail stan is probably absolutely crazy and bonkers and will go heads over heels for their anime. Look, I love the anime. I enjoy the characters. There's so many waifus between Fairy Tail and Eden Zero. Hell, two of the waifus, one from Fairy Tail and one from Eden Zero, are on my top 5 waifus ever. Like literally, you guys can go check my pinned tweet. And so, so I love the series, but at the same time, there are their flaws. It also has its mistakes. So I enjoy it, but I understand why people also, you know, look at it like, I don't care about it or anything like that. But again, to each his own. There's always an anime that you're gonna like that somebody else is not gonna like. That's just how it is. But no, I'm not a crazy stan. And again, I just enjoy the hell out of it. I enjoy Mashimicha's work for sure. So anyway, Eden Zero, I'll probably rate around a 7.5 without being truthfully biased because again, it is the first 24 episodes or 25 episodes of Eden Zero, the first season. It is a really, really, really well written, so it's enjoyable for sure. So I'll probably rate it about 7.5. Yeah, first season's out right now. The first season's out on Netflix. The first part of the first season is out on Netflix right now. The second part is currently running in Japan, so it'll probably be on Netflix within the next 2 months. But that second core, a lot of shit happened, dog. Yeah, I think for sure if you were hooked in the first part of season 1, see the second part of season 1 is going to absolutely make you a fan of Eden Zero. So
okay.
And I think I got one more, which is Honor at Magic High. Honor at Magic High was basically the regular at Magic High. It was like a spinoff in a sense, but what it is that the Honor at Magic High comes from Miyuki's, which is Tatsuya's sister. It comes from Miyuki's point of view. So you basically see everything from her eyes, from how she sees it. Pretty interesting if you enjoyed the regular at Magic High. Seeing everything from her vision makes it a little bit differently and makes it like, okay, I see what happened then. And it also gives you a little bit more context of stuff that was going on when Tatsuya was busy. So it's pretty cool to watch that. I think they did good just literally because a show that you've already seen, like what's going to happen, putting in new scenes and giving you more depth into why certain stuff happened makes it really refreshing in the sense that you get to find out more in detail. And so just watching it, knowing that I knew what was going to be the results of like the school battles and knowing what was going to happen, but just getting more detail on why it happened was pretty cool. And so I enjoyed it. I probably rated it about a 6.5, 7. But yeah, it was enjoyable for what it was. And if you enjoy the regular Magic High, you're going to enjoy watching the Honor at Magic High for sure. So, okay. And with that, that is the end of Black's List, or the Blacklist as we like to call it. Those are anime that I say you should check out. There are plenty of other anime that I did watch. I watch a lot of anime, but that's just a couple of them that I wanted to bring up for if people wanted to check out and maybe they had questions about them. Like, oh, I've seen this one, and Black didn't like this one. Black said, watch out if you're gonna watch it or read this. But those are some I just wanted to basically talk about a little bit and give basically everybody a P's and Q's on what was going on. So, ScubaSteve, did you hear any that you might be checking out from Black's list?
Oh, I'm checking out probably girlfriend.
Oh yes, gosh! I'm telling you, if you want to laugh, dog, you're gonna cry laughing. It's too funny.
I've heard a lot about girlfriend, so I'm probably gonna check that out. I'm gonna check out Kobayashi Dragon Maid.
All right, good.
You sold me on Duke of Death. I've never even heard of that one, but I'm interested in seeing how like he's got the touch of death. He could kill you at any moment, and now he's in love. Just seeing that dynamic, I'm actually sold on that one. So I'm definitely gonna check out Duke of Death as well.
Nice. Yeah, no, for sure. Those three, you picked out three that I think you will enjoy. Two of them one's a rom-com, two of them are rom-coms because Girlfriend is considered a rom-com, and Duke of Death is basically a rom-com as well. And so you enjoy those, and then Dragon Maid, Dragon Maid. If I could ever recommend an anime, if you're okay with a little ecchi and you're okay with just dragons running around and causing hell in the cutest ways possible, you'll enjoy it for sure. So.
I'm a little disappointed in the Detective Is Already Dead review though, but you know what I'm saying? Like I've heard.
Go ahead.
I was about to say I've heard, like I said, Rob J said that I like it because I like my mystery, I like my crime type stuff and trying to figure stuff out and not knowing. So I'm interested, but you didn't you had me like
I didn't give it. Well, if you're in it for the mystery part aspect of it, that part is there. Like I don't want to deter you, shall I say, from not watching it. It's just the little things that I started to notice as I watched it was like, okay, the mystery was there, trying to figure out stuff was all there. That was there. But again, when it gets to that one point where you literally the death, it was just like, ugh.
Yeah,
it would have been so much more dramatic. Like literally, this is literally the name of it. The detective's already dead. You would think the death will be the most important part, and it really wasn't. And it was just like, that's it. And it literally, I like all the air was let out my cells. I was just like, wow. I was supposed to feel more pain with this, and I didn't. You know what I mean? But the detective part, you get that for sure in the first 4 episodes. There's a lot of detective stuff going on, so you'll enjoy that part of it for sure. So I think that if you watch it, you'll get to that point. You'll be like, now I understand what he says, because it's not a bad watch. It's just that when you get to that point, that build up, and then it doesn't hit the way that you think, you're like, all right.
It's like, I watched all that for this.
And you get upset because you're like, man, like you were going good. Like, what the hell just happened? Because like you get all the detective stuff and all this stuff and these new characters that are introduced and the ping ponging back and forth. You're just like, I felt like it could have been a little bit more, but yeah. I think literally, as I always say with any anime, watch the first 3 episodes. If you can get through the first 3 episodes and you're not deterred from like turning it off completely, then you're gonna watch the next 9. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I say with every anime. If you can get through 3 episodes, 9 times out of 10, you can watch the whole thing. So
fair enough.
All right. So now turning gears a little bit from the anime side, there was something that came out, and we mentioned it last week. We mentioned a little bit about it, but I know for sure we wanted to talk about it more in depth this time. And that was the mentioning of a certain anime that did come. Oh, I guess you can call it anime, right? It is anime technically.
Yeah.
I had to think about it.
At least some of the episodes were for sure.
Yeah, and that was Star Wars Visions. I believe, did we mention a little bit of it last week? Or
I don't think so. We got cut off a little bit. So
right. So we didn't mention much of it, but we for sure want to talk about this. Disney basically gave the reins of Star Wars. It told different animation studios to make basically episodes of Star Wars in how they feel that Star Wars should be made anime form. And basically what you get is these short animation episodes of these different studios doing how they felt Star Wars should be. And man, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't know about you. Do you have a top 3 of what you enjoyed, like referring to all the episodes?
That first episode was fire, and
Yes.
I really enjoyed the contrast of it being in black and white. Like
Agreed.
that grayscaling and everything was really dope. That was something different, and then the lightsabers being colored, but everything else
Mhm.
not being. That was fire. I really. It was a way to kick off that series to make
Agreed. I agree.
to make
Agreed.
you be like, huh, this is what we getting. Let me go and get into this next one. So I
Mhm.
really enjoyed that first episode. I'll say I don't know the names of the episodes, so I'm just
Let me
gonna
see.
say
I'll pull up the names really quickly. Because the first one for episode 1 was the duel. I think if you watched it and got to look at the duel and watched it in turn, just taking blinders off. Obviously, if you're a big Star Wars fan, obviously you probably had gripes with the episode just because it wasn't in traditional Star Wars. But if you put it on the aspect of it being literally Star Wars in animation form, in anime form, then to watch that, it was pretty damn cool, personally. Like, I thought it was cool. It literally was like in like feudal Japan time, like everybody, they were in huts, and yet you still had these big old mechanical buildings or mechanical I forgot what those things are called in Star Wars, but the big ships that come in
yeah.
on wheels, and it was just like, it's like literally you're living in feudal Japan, but you have futuristic times ahead, and it was a pretty crazy and dope blend for real. So
The other episode that I liked was that one with the old guy or whatever, and
hold on, that
they looking
one
for like
was, let
they're
me
like
see,
looking for the dark presence. That shit was
the elder,
the
that was the
elder.
name,
Okay,
the
yeah,
elder.
that one was a really good episode. I really
Mhm.
enjoyed that one. And what's another one that I like? Let
Like
me look.
my personal top three. My personal top three would probably be Lop and Ocho, which is about the bunny girl
Oh
and how
yeah,
she got into the family.
okay.
That one was a Trigger episode, and as I was saying literally on the timeline, Trigger don't miss, dog. Like when Trigger does anime, Trigger does not miss. Like
Yeah.
literally, the screenshots you were getting while watching that episode was absolutely gorgeous, and you're just like, man, Trigger really be doing this thing. Like you just really like, man. I've always loved Trigger Studios, Trigger Inc. I've always liked them because I'm a big mecha guy, and Trigger knows how to do goddamn mecha anime. Like that's one thing for sure. So just watching them do this at a smaller scale, and just everything about it, from the landscape to the characters, it was just absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. And then when it got down to that fight between the two, I was just like, damn, this is dope. So my personal favorite was Lop and Ocho. Then it goes to the Ninth Jedi, where it's about the
That's the
young girl,
one with the
the
little
Ninth
girl. The girl,
Jedi. Yeah,
yeah.
listen. Old girl was getting after that shit. Like her pops was like, "You're sort of a natural with a lightsaber." And
Yeah.
when she started fighting and doing cartwheels and backflips, just her agility was like, bruh, like she might be a force in the future. And the
Yeah.
way that they left it off, honestly, I personally feel that between Lop and Ocho and the Ninth Jedi, if they were to come out and Disney were to be like, you know what, people want these as a series. If they were to drop 12 episodes of those two on it, I'm in. I'm not Disney. If you're dropping those, I'm in it. Like I'm in it to win it. If you're going to drop them week to week and get this animation studio maybe a year to do this, I'm in it, because the way that both those episodes ended, it left on cliffhangers, and they left on really, really good cliffhangers.
Yeah.
So it's like they can just make those episodes a prequel and then just start from there. But yeah, those episodes were done good, like for real. Like the duel, I feel like it's sort of standalone because obviously the big bad villain was taken out. You know, he did his job. He's on to the next. You know, like So it's like okay. And then the other one that caught mine, the third one, would be the twins. Again, another Trigger episode. And I think what stood out to that was classic Trigger. The twins was classic Trigger. Like the loud colors, the absurdity of the battle. Like my man literally took his lightsaber and sliced the whole ship. Like the absurdity of the battles, the scale of what he was doing, the colors, the contrast, the just everything about it, the light and dark battle, literally colors wise, was absolutely nuts. So the twins was good. And again, that's why I always say Trigger doesn't miss. Like their 2 episodes that they did not miss. They were all on point. So Yeah, I enjoy that. And the reason that we bring up Star Wars Visions is because they're slowly becoming a trend with Western media beginning mixed in with anime. Like you see it a lot more. Like this was obviously a pretty cool, I guess collaboration you could call it between Disney and animation studios. But there's more. Like the influence that's being going on in anime is starting to really take its effect over in the Western. And literally it's starting from like little stuff such as like Walmart selling anime t-shirts. Like literally you can go to Walmart and get you cheap anime t-shirts for like $12.
Ones.
And some good ones. Yeah, I've gotten a few of them from Walmart. But that again, 10 years ago, you would have never thought that. There was no way possible you would think Walmart. Walmart was created in Arkansas. There's no way you would ever think that Arkansas would have anything to do with anime. Yet in 2021, here we are. So it's starting to show that the influence of Western, like anime is starting to influence Western, like I guess Western population or Western media. It's starting to really, really, really show. And I don't consider it a bad thing. It's like literally, the Western media is like, hey, people are like feeding for this. And even, with the acquisition of Funimation buying Crunchyroll, like that's Western media, that's Sony. So it's like, okay, like they're realizing that, hey, there's money here. Like we can actually control this and get ahead of this while there's a chance, before it really starts to blow up. So it's always cool to look at that in the sense, because again, it seems like every decade, anime slowly starts to creep over. And it just seems like as recently as maybe, let's say 2018, like anime is sort of like kicked down the door to the point that people are like watching it now. And I always think back, and I always think back to the one moment that got the internet going crazy, and that's Demon Slayer's episode 17.
Yep. And that's what hooked everybody in.
That literally got people talking about anime. We were all talking about anime much, much prior to this. Like I've been watching anime many, many years before Demon Slayer was even heard of. But when an episode grabs the attention of non-anime watchers, to the point they're like, what is this? I'm curious. And they see it and they're like, whoa, this is awesome. That I think literally it sort of blew the door open to like, okay, non-anime watchers are like, what's this? I'm curious now. You know what I mean? And it made more people be like, I'm curious about anime, but I don't know where to watch. Like I see more and more tweets every day. All right, y'all, I'm curious. I want to watch some anime. What's some good anime? Like I see those tweets all the time now, like daily. Like, hey, man, I'm curious, man. I don't know where to start with anime. It just all looks so intimidating. I don't know, but I do like to watch this, that, and this. And I believe that's the influence of anime just slowly taking over Western media. And now you having access to it like Netflix and all that stuff, like everybody started pushing anime and trying to get the piece of their pie from the anime market for real.
And it's getting an extra boost. You got Bleacher Report doing their little videos with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure themes and like just doing things like that. Even so, in the sports media world, you're getting anime clips and clipped into their sports. But then you have things that are super huge, like right now, the talk of the last week has been Squid Game, which is based off an anime. I saw on Facebook one, it was Squid Game. It was a post with Squid Game, Sweet Home, and Alice in Borderland. And then one of my homeboys was like, so I watched all three of these. And he was like, I think I'm about 75% sure that I'm ready to watch an anime. And I'm like, bet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're still getting pushed in that direction and things like that. But like Western media just has kind of been like trying to get into this anime hole because we've had the Matrix animations, we've had the X-Men anime, the
Blade anime, X-Men, Wolverine,
and even as bad as it was, I don't even want to talk about it, but that Batman Ninja joint, like it's like they're trying to get into it, they're trying to bring it, and you know what I'm saying, I really appreciate that because it's like for so many concepts that I've been watching in movies, and I'm like, dog, there's an anime about this, and there's so many people that claim they'll never watch an anime. I'll never watch anime, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're turning around, they're watching movies that kind of have the same exact concepts as an anime, and I'm like, no, man, you need to give it a chance because you love this. You would love this, and I don't know if it's because it's animated why people feel like they can't watch anime, or I don't know, but it's like you're literally watching the exact same thing.
Right.
An example is The Old Guard on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, pretty much they're protectors, and when they die, they come back to life type thing, and they're trained to kill and, like, you know what I'm saying, do all these things. But they basically die, and then when they die, they come back. And I always tell, like, some of my friends, like one of my friends, that's one of his favorite movies, and I'm like, dude, you need to watch this anime called Ajin.
Right.
I was like, it's literally the same. And he's like, no, man, I don't do that anime stuff. And I was like, what are you talking? I was like, it's the same premise almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ajin, literally, he dies and he comes back. You know what I'm saying? The demigod thing, they die and they come back. So I was like, that's pretty much the same thing. But it's just, I'm really loving the fact that they're finally, you know, coming, and they're coming. You got Michael B. Jordan making different things. He's doing collabs with stuff. You got Megan Thee Stallion, she's shouting out anime and things like that. So all these
Meg is a really big anime fan, so I think that's really cool because Megan, obviously, her demographic when it comes to her music obviously relates to a certain type of people, and so when she can literally be talking, you know, when her and Cardi B can literally be doing WAP. And then literally like 2 weeks later, she's doing a cosplay of Todoroki from My Hero Academia. Yeah. People are like, wait a minute, like,
what is this?
Come on. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? You know what I mean? It's making people get curious because people have always heard of anime. Like, it's always been said. But the stigma that it used to be back in the day, especially in the West, was that anime is for nerds. Anime is for, you know, people that are, you know, like, you know,
Naruto running down the hallway.
Right. And so, you know, from social media, it was given a bad stigma. But again, all it takes is for that one breakthrough for all the popular people to go. And I also think that part of the Western media boom that's also going on is that a lot of the young kids that are now growing up are becoming those people that we see more. Like, for example, a lot of sports players, whether it's basketball or football or soccer, even the Olympics. In the Olympics, there were people doing celebrations representing One Piece. Like one of the Olympics did the Frankie pose.
Super, yeah.
The other guy did the Luffy pose. And they're in Japan doing poses for anime because they won a medal. And the first thing they thought about is how they enjoyed their favorite anime, and they wanted to do a pose from their anime. Because they were happy in that they won. They accomplished their lifelong dream of winning a medal at the Olympics. So it's like the stigma is being erased that anime isn't just for nerds. And I think that's cool because what that does for people that have enjoyed anime up to this point, that gives us complete and more access. Like I can go to stores and now find anime shirts everywhere. Like, do you know how difficult it was to get anime shirts 10 years ago?
You had to go to Hot Topic or you had to go to fucking Spencer's, and that's it.
And you were fighting when you went there. And then for a big guy like me, I wasn't getting that many sizes. So it was difficult, dog. Now, I can go into a Walmart and pick up an anime shirt. And you know what? They'll have my size. Why? Because Walmart always has your size and whatever you're looking for. And if not, it can be ordered. And I just think I personally love it. I enjoy the boom of where anime is going. And all the youngsters that are doing stuff like the football players with their cleats doing like Kamehamehas in the end zone. I love it. I'm like, hey, go for it, dog. I enjoy every bit of it, man. Because I know if I was a sports player around this time and I enjoyed anime, oh yeah, y'all gonna hear me talk anime all the time. Like I'm gonna be on Twitter talking about what I'm watching. If I'm not preparing for a game, I'm gonna be like, all right, what I'm watching this weekend, like I would be enjoying it. So yeah, man, like I think the boon is here. I don't think it's going anywhere. And also the one thing that I also noticed that's starting to happen now is that these anime movies are now a lot more are being pushed overseas. Like we're getting a chance to see a lot of these anime movies that are getting popular now being thrown overseas, even if it's for like a month. We're still getting a shot to see them. Man, listen, I had to watch 6 years ago when the regular Magic High came out, the movie. I had to watch it in a theater that only sat 44 people, a small theater that was at the bottom of a cafe in San Francisco. I watched it in a small theater, and the theater was packed full of fans. But just to show you that I watched Demon Slayer in IMAX at the Matreon. This is 6 years later. I'm watching something in IMAX, an anime movie in IMAX, dog. That's how things have changed. Like from a little theater in the basement to watching it in the largest theater in San Francisco. Yeah, anime has changed completely.
I feel like we would be doing a disservice if we didn't give the credit to some credit, not the credit, but give some credit to the people at RDC World. They pretty much. I remember when they were making their videos and they were like a long time ago when it was just Mark and Af, like before he went to UNT, when it was just Mark and Af. Like I found them and I was like, oh, they kind of funny. They were talking about like cartoons and things like that. And then once they got the UNT and then like they started doing the video that really sent them off was when people take anime too far.
Too far. Yeah. I agree because the first one was funny. And like I remember watching that and being like, okay, this is absolutely hilarious. And I remember that when taking anime too far, because there was a part 1 and a part 2. And he was like, I'm Avatar, water. And he throws water on him, and he takes off on him, and then Mark goes, Ben-san! And I screamed. I remember watching that the first time, and then when he was like, he lived to fight another day, and he takes off
running, gets
like Leela's like, what the heck? That is a goated ass like skit like that. You're right. RDC World has some goated ass skits, and they for sure,
because they still do the Chick-fil-A versus Popeye videos, the locker room, LeBron locker room videos. They do those, which gives them that more popularity, but then they stay true to themselves with the anime thing. So now it's like people in the comments going, oh, if these niggas watch it, maybe I'll give it a chance type stuff.
It's true.
So, you know what I'm saying? I'll give them some credit because, like, you know what I'm saying? And then now they've made it to a safe place at the DreamCon where it's like black content creators and black anime watchers and pretty much black nerds in a sense, you know what I'm saying, where we all get to enjoy that space. So I give some credit to RDC World. And you know what I'm saying, Caleb City a little bit too, because Caleb City is one of those ones that, especially with the gaming content that he does, his gaming content is like top tier. So
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean like I said, with the ability to push out different skits and obviously with mainstream media and I guess mainstream media, and then social media in general, like it gets known. And just like you said, same thing how ESPN, Bleacher Report were using like little anime stuff. Oh, they've been also known to use different skits and stuff and tag different skits from like RDC World, and that helps them blow up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when we were talking about LeBron, like those skits were for sure making the rounds, and to the point that literally, as they started to get bigger and bigger, they start meeting the people that they're talking about skits about. Like he got to meet, like, they met J. Cole. Yeah, they've met LeBron. Like they've met the people that they're literally talking about. And that's pretty damn cool. So it's like, hey, stick to your dreams, enjoy your stuff. But it just shows that you can enjoy. You don't have to hide what you enjoy anymore. If you're an anime fan, you don't have to hide that from anyone. It's like, like I know for me, if I'm looking like as a single guy, it's like, hey, if my my future partner doesn't like anime, it's gonna be a big clash because it's like I watch anime. Like I do a podcast. Like we're gonna clash because you don't know what I'm talking about, and you don't, and especially if you don't care, it's just gonna clash big time. So nonetheless, yeah, for sure, Western media has taken its boom. It is here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, we're living in the golden age for sure of anime right now. Like, or we're living in the golden age of access to anime. I'll say it that way.
Man, I was about to say, I don't know if you saw when I posted, me and Skylar went to the library, and the library has a room like dedicated to manga. And I was like, no way. Like when I got in the room, I was like, oh, okay, they got a manga shelf. And like it was like 5 shelves long. And I was like, oh, okay, they got a manga shelf like 5 shelves long. That's pretty cool. And Skylar was like, no. She's like, look around. And I started looking around. I was like, yo, this whole room. Yes. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this whole room is manga. I was like, that's crazy when, you know what I'm saying? You used to go to the library and it would be like no manga in there. And when they did have manga in there, it was like chapter 5. But then you got to figure out what happened because this is chapter 27. And then the next chapter, the next chapter is chapter 49. It's like, where the rest of your issues at? Where like when I went there, they had the entire collection of what's the thing called Danganronpa. They had the entire thing in order. They had the entire thing of Assassination Classroom in order. Oh, wow. And I was like, this is crazy. Where like we literally had to figure it out. Like we were literally trying to figure out what was going on. And Skylar literally was like, okay, she checked out like the first 7 issues of Assassination Classroom. You know what I'm saying? And then she's going to come back and do it. I was like, that's crazy. Like it never was like that for us when we were
never. That's what I said. Like the accessibility to anime is at an all-time high. And again, if anything, it's either going to get bigger or it's going to stay the way it is. And hey, anime is accessible like easy. Like seriously. Like,
I think it's gonna get super big, and then I think once it gets super big, it's gonna get to a point where we're gonna me and you, the old heads, are kind of gonna get frustrated because Western media is gonna try to oversaturate it and water it down.
That's probably the one thing to worry about the most part. So we're
like right now we're gonna be like, oh yeah, we dope. Everybody's in the anime, and then probably about 2030, all of a sudden we're gonna be like, all right. Don't touch my shit anymore. Don't touch like when they try to do a fucking Dragon Ball Evolution movie again. We're gonna be like, all right, stop touching shit.
We're gonna be there with our pitchforks ready to burn everything down. It's bad.
Don't touch our shit no more. Please. I don't want to see My Hero.
I hope we don't turn it to the old heads. I'll be nervous. So.
I don't want to see a My Hero movie, man. Leave it alone. Like we're gonna be at that point.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, anything's possible at this point. So, yeah. All right. So we're towards the end of the podcast. We're going to do it a little bit differently. No draft, you guys. No draft. I know it's your favorite part of the podcast. No draft. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to give my list of anime openings and endings for summer of 2021. And that's how we're going to end the podcast. So what I'm going to do is give my list of what I enjoyed. And yeah, this list will be available attached to the podcast. It is a Spotify playlist and basically gives the order of the animes that I enjoyed. And so this list is going to be quick because we're going to attach it to the podcast and you can check it out. So starting from, I'm going to give you 6 endings and I'll give you, I think 10 or 11 openings. So starting from the back end, my back end of number 6 on the list is the ending to Remake Your Life. Really nice ending, really chill, really cool vibe. You'll enjoy the hell out of it. Really chill mood. So it's something to listen to. The 5th one is going to be the ending to Black Company. It's a really also chill vibe as well. You'll enjoy that one too. Again, these are Black's picks, so you might have different endings. Everybody has different anime or music tastes, but for the most part, I've heard that my tastes are pretty good for the most part. So number 5, I'm sorry, 1, 2, that was 6, 5. Number 4 is the ending to The Honor at Magic High. This is like a little like jazz twist type of ending with some bass and beat to it. The girls are harmonizing. It's pretty dope. And she got her sultry voice going on in the background. It's a vibe for sure. That's really for sure. And I'm not saying the names because the names I don't know the direct names of them. That's why I'm giving you the ending of the anime so that you'll know, okay, it's that one. You can go look it up that way. And again, the podcast I have it attached as well, the playlist, the Spotify playlist. Number 3, the ending to I'm Standing on a Million Lives season 2. Now I do have the name to this one, and that one's called Subversive, and it's like a really chill, heavy bass song, but it gives you the vibe of like really lax, laid back, cool vibe with the girl singing Subversive, and it's like all right, I can vibe to this one, so that was cool. Number 2 is the ending to Life Lessons Umarichi-san.
Yeah.
And this one, Dream On. Now that's a whole mood. Like literally, this feels like some stuff that we heard back in the 90s. It's a real mood. It's just the dream. It's a mode, dog. Like for real. Like I probably listen to that one a lot more because it's literally it vibes more to the lo-fi that I listen to. And lo-fi doesn't have words, but it gives off lo-fi vibes for sure. So that one's a really good one. I'm pretty sure if you hear it, you'll agree. And number 1 for my top endings is the ending to Battle Game in 5 Seconds. It is a high energy. As soon as it starts, pure high energy. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, not like rock screaming, but the girls come on and they're harmonizing. It's just flat out energy. And when the beat breaks down about a minute into the song, you're like this. Your head is just nodding the whole time. Like, all right, this is it. Really, really good ending. Like, literally, I would not turn off that anime until the ending was done. It was good. God, it's such a good song. So, for sure, that's my top ending. And so, those are the endings. Now, starting from, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe this is 10. Starting at number 10 for openings. It will be, number 10 is and this is opening wise. It will be the second season opening to Eating Zero. It's old school vibe in a sense, real chill, real lax, pretty cool, very enjoyable. Number 9 would be the opening to the Honor at Magic High. It comes off with a heavy bass play. The bass player goes absolutely ape shit in this song. And if you love bass play, oh God, he goes dumb on this. So I don't know who the bass player was, but he lit that shit up. And it's really chill. Really in mid song or whatever, it gets really poppy and it's like energetic, high energy for sure. Number 8 is the opening to Deicide Tromole. I found this one actually 2 weeks ago, and this is lo-fi. Like it has words to it, but the mood is just everything about it is just chill. You get your jazz, your bass play, your piano play. Oh man, it's just literally you listen to it and you just like, bro. Like you're just vibing to it, and that's how you want your anime opening to be. Either you vibing or you hype as fuck. It's only those two. That's all you get. So either you vibing or you hype. And for sure, that opening is vibes on deck for sure. Now I'm getting to the good ones. Number 6, the opening to My Hero Academia season 5. And this one, Rob J. Shout out to Rob J. because I know he enjoys this one. Whoa! Oh man, hey brother, listen, like trust me and Rob J, we be just quoting it on Twitter. Like it's a good song, and it's Merry Go Round by Man with a Mission. Man with a Mission always make good songs, dog. Like they know how to make songs. Trust me. If you just go look up their catalog, you'd be like, yeah, they know what the hell they doing. So that's number 6. Number 5 is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was number 7. Number 6 is the opening to. Sorry, brain fart. My bad. Number 6 is the opening to. What is the opening to? Peach Boy Riverside. I apologize, you guys. The name of the song is called Dark Spiral Journey. That one starts off with this guitar riff that goes real crazy. Then the bass comes in, the vocalist comes in, and then it literally just vibes on that. But the vocalist is sort of really, really vibing to the bass, and it's really good because her energy's high and that bass playing keeps it like mellowed out. Really good vibe overall. And then that guitar player, he was shredding the whole time. So that's a good song to listen to. Number 5, Red Criminal from the Oral Cigarettes. That is the opening to Scarlet Nexus.
I like the Oral Cigarettes, man.
I love the Oral Cigarettes.
Yeah.
They make good music. Tidbit on that one. The Oral Cigarettes not only did the opening to Scarlet Nexus, the anime, they also did the opening to the video game of Scarlet Nexus. That song is called Dream and Drive. Both songs are gold, but this one,
And they did Hey Kids, which is one of my favorite.
Marua Hey Kids, which is the opening to Noragami season 2. Noragami Arigato. So yes, yeah. The oral cigarettes get after it, but this song, the way that they catch you with this song, they get you with the lyrics, because part of the lyrics are in English and part of them switches over to Japan. So when you hear some of the English lyrics, you're singing along with it, and then they got the beat in the background. You just like, okay, I can keep up. Red criminal gets like, and you just like, okay, wait a minute. That's the good energy when you're listening to a song. When you're just starting to sing along with it, and then before you know it, the anime started, you're like, oh shit, that was a good song. Like, I'm juiced. Let's go. So for sure that one. Number 4 is the opening to the Eaton Deities Only No Peace. Listen.
Okay.
The first seconds of this song starts off with a guitar riff, and then they just drop the bass line. Boom, boom. And you're just like, whoa, where am I going with this? And then the dude just come on, he's just singing. And then as soon as the hook comes, the entire song explodes on you. And you're just like, whoa, like, okay. And it turns from literally him just talking to you, it feels like, to him just literally just like full energy, like I'm on like 8 Red Bulls. And you're like, damn, all right, dog, get after it. And just the melody is just hella nice, hella clean, very smooth. That bass hit, you in it. Top 3. Number 3 is the opening to Dungeon of Black Company. It is called Apartment by How Be Quiet. Again, I love my jazzy tones. This one comes off as the same thing. Ooh, 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 oh, oh. I was like, okay, like when you start harmonizing, I'm with you, dog. If I can understand what you're saying, I'm gonna sing along too. But that one gives you a good vibe, and that ending when it breaks down is like, all right, we good. Number 2 is the opening to Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy. Man, listen. As soon as you press play on the opening, bro, it's hype. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like the singer, he goes at like, bro, as soon as you hit play, and then it gives you the beat drop. Boom, 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 boom. You just like, all right. Calm. But the opening is hype. The images are hype to it. It's just flat out energy for a whole minute and 30 seconds. I found myself speeding on the freeway to this song. I have to change the song because I don't feel like getting the trigger. Because it's literally from when the song starts off, it's pure energy. You just like, bro, like, again, your opening can be one or two things. Either it's a mood, a vibe, or either it's flat out energy. This one is flat out energy, just flat out energy. So really good. And of course, number 1, I have had this song on repeat since I've heard it. It is the opening to Dragon Maid Season 2, Love Supreme by Fauna. Sing along, back in time, sing along. It's just, bruh, I was hooked. I was like, okay, like, again, English lyrics, I can sing along, cool. But then it goes from literally just the drums playing to a flat out orchestra playing. You're just like, okay. Then you get the lyrics to the young lady who sings, and then Homeboy comes in and starts like rapping to it. You just like, all right, I'm hooked. And so it's a good song. Everybody goes crazy. The dynamic between the young lady singing and the guy rapping just puts it all together. The melody is just smooth, and it's a high energy song as well. Not as high energy as the Tsukimichi opening, but it's still that high energy. Like, okay, I can enjoy this. So that is Black's playlist of openings and endings for summer of 2021. If you're curious about these songs, again, we will be attaching my Spotify playlist, like literally the Spotify playlist I listen to roughly every other day. We will be attaching it to the podcast so that you guys can listen to it and see if I'm just talking out my ass or if maybe I know a little bit about this anime music thing. So we will attach it to the podcast for you guys to enjoy. And so with that, we are ending the podcast. ScubaSteve, why don't you let them know where they can find you at?
Oh, yeah, you can follow me at ScubaSteve1428 on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the In My page. We got a Linktree, and it'll link you to everything that we are doing. Link to our Blurred shop. Please go, get some merch from the Blurred shop. We need to add some new merch on there. I think it's time to get some more stuff out there. But yeah, man,
yeah, you just follow me, and when you follow me, you can find all these great people that I'm interacting with on IpMob, man. They got some great stuff. Their YouTube channels, their Twitch channels, all that stuff. So please, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And you guys know who this is. It's your boy Black, also known as SSS Black. You can find me at blackholeplayers on Twitter. That also, once you go to the Twitter, you can find my Linktree that links you to the Mayonaka, the Mayonaka Mixer podcast alongside the my YouTube gaming page where I also play video games and talk anime on there as well. So everything is attached to there. And yeah, you guys know where you can find me. Other than that, as we always say, and we do, hope you guys enjoy this episode. Next episode will be last call. You know, we always do last call at the end of every anime season to talk about stuff that we might have missed, that we might have talked about, just to make sure we wrap up summer 2021 with a bow. So look forward to the next podcast. But until then, we out. Peace.